Thank you, Chair, and very good afternoon to all of you. I have written this point, Najib Sahab, of what you said about the Kashmiri people not coming together and they are divided. Just to let you know, the Kashmiri people are not a river goes in one direction. They are the human beings and they have different views and thoughts, and that's why they form different organizations. So my suggestion is the Pakistani, Kashmiri and the other MPs, parliamentarians who works with the Kashmiri communities, they should try to bring those organizations and group together. And I did also said Dr. Misfar Sahab that we should have at least a written document, a strategy for long term and the short term, and where all the different groups could sign to that, because there is one common cause which everybody supports, and there's no difference whether you have JKLF or the Freedom Movement or whatever the organization we all support. The issue of Kashmir, because I grew up here and seen ups and downs, has been disappeared since 9/11 and Iraq, Syria and the other wars. So it's been less talk in UK, especially the Parliament and some of the institutes who are discussing or bringing some of the documents on these studies. I went through a recent document about the forced migration in Oxford University, one of the college produced. So there is a forced migration happening in Kashmir on the both sides, but there's nothing been mentioned. Is all talk about the Syria, Iraq and other, which is very close to this government trying to address. So that document talks about the problem, solutions, but I have spoken to Dr. Hassan asking that we should be trying to working with those institutions and raising. I also know that Baroness Helena Kennedy is setting up a human rights center in one of the university college. And I'm also trying to meet her and give some of the human rights reports coming from Kashmir. We all said here whether the government or the political parties here in UK have a policy or not. Whether they have political parties a policy on Kashmir or not, we have to work with those political parties and the government of UK, whether they have one line, keep repeating, we need to keep going back and saying to them. The other parties into this disputes are the United Nations, Pakistan and India, whether we like or not, whether the United Nations is proactive or not, but we can't, as a British Kashmiris who live here, we cannot go passing without the government of UK, the political parties of the UK Parliament, UN, Pakistan and India, with alongside the Kashmiris. Unless they are not a party to this, I'm afraid it's not going to move. This one line issue which is being said that every time the government says here is dispute between India and Pakistan. I'm sorry to make this political, but it's in non-political way. Whichever party, we have only two parties come to the government and go here. Whichever party is in the government will say that same line. We have heard that. I've seen 2-3 governments of Conservatives and Labours. And David Nuttall, who was here, he accepted that, yes, it is in a race between India and Pakistan. So that means when whichever party comes into the government, they will stick to this line. I think moving from this line and trying to work with the Kashmiri communities, British Kashmiri communities of different backgrounds and different in the political lineages they have, trying to working with them and India and Pakistan. And when they come, their delegations come, I think the British parliamentarians who meet them here, they should ask the British Kashmiris to be part of that and try to hear their views at that same time. So these are the only suggestions I would make. I won't make a long, boring speech, but I think we do need to get into the institutions where they produce some fact-finding reports, and that comes sometimes the Parliament looks into those reports. Thank you.
Thank you very much.